Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Flash Fried. Sorry, it's a little late. It was Paul's fault.
As always.
I love that. I love that.
Paul
done it.
As always,
Paul
it was my fault.
Paul done it, y'all.
I think Paul went on like a White Castle-esque sort of quest.
He was on a quest.
To find toilet paper, though, so it wasn't as cool.
Yeah,
I just
Paul's
had
like,
to
my
itch ass.
asshole's just getting shittier and shittier.
I just had to itch ass the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be horrible. Just
Sucked.
to drive around for like days on it and
Oh,
just
man.
searching for it.
Having itch ass has got to be one of the worst fucking things in the world. There are few things in the world I like least than having a real bad case of the itch ass.
That's true.
Especially when you're somewhere you just can't like fucking go.
God, it's maddening being out in public and just you can't, you can't reach back and dig around in your asshole. You know what I mean?
I'll just do it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, that's you,
You're
TJ.
disgusting, though.
I don't want everybody in the fucking restaurant looking at me like I'm picking my ass. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'd
you
rather
can do it a little. You got to be a little covert.
Well, yeah, that's the hell of it. It's like I know I got to scratch it, but I got to find a place to do it. So do I just get up and go? Do I treat it like it's a trip to the bathroom?
Yeah, you know what I do a lot of times is I'll just kind of lean on a wall or something, kind of just covertly. Kind of put that back there, what's up?
I don't think you're being anywhere near as covert as you think you are. You probably look like a big grizzly bear scratching its asshole on a redwood. TJ
Probably.
Rubbing your scent all over it.
Honestly, usually I'll just reach back there and scratch it.
But you got to dig around in that. Like when you get the real heavy itch ass,
Right.
And then once you've dug around in it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you've got to get it scratched.
Yeah, something has to be done.
Dude, you know another thing that happened to me?
What?
Hasn't happened to me in a while?
What?
I got a pimple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right there on my nose.
Damn.
I scratched.
Oh, yeah, I see
You
the
see it?
remnants. Yeah.
I scratched it in my sleep. Like it's like adolescence coming back and knocking on my door and going, "Hey, remember this?" It's like, yeah, go away.
It's like, yeah, I was glad to be rid of you the first time. You can go.
Yeah, it is true. I don't remember many times seeing Paul with acne, or for that matter, you, TJ. It's like if you get a big ass zit, I definitely notice. I'm like, you got a big zit on his fucking
I'll
forehead.
get blackheads and shit sometimes, but I don't consider those zits. Like a zit is a different thing. And I used to get them when I not super bad, but as a teenager, I had the transient zit. You know what I mean? There was always one or two zits forming or having just healed somewhere. You know what I mean?
I get them on my legs. Get leg zits.
That's so fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
That might be shingles.
No, they're zits.
You just get pimples on your leg.
It's not super often, but especially on my knee. Sometimes I'll get one. I think it's just stuff like jeans and shit rubbing against my fucking.
Who knows?
Dude, the weirdest spot I ever got a pimple was on top of my fucking foot one time. It was
Gross.
A foot top pimple?
I don't think I've ever had that.
I know. I never had one since. I was looked down one day and I'm like,
That's like a toe pimple. I've never seen a toe pimple.
yeah, I've never had that. But I was like, it was right on the top of my fucking foot, and I just popped it. I'm like, how the fuck did I get a fucking zit here?
That's so weird.
Because you can't get zits on your palms or the bottom of your feet, but you can't get on you can pretty much get anywhere else.
Huh. I had a giant wart on my toe one time.
I've never had a wart.
I was I was just a kid. I was 10 or 11 years old, and I found this wart on my toe, and I spent basically the entire night slowly ripping it off.
Did it come back?
No.
Oh, sometimes they actually they did. Well, I've had my experiences I've seen people rip them off and they just come right back, and sometimes
Really?
yeah.
I guess I got lucky.
The people I feel bad for, I've known a few people that had plantar's warts, which is that wart that digs into because the surgery for it is debilitating because digging around in the meat of your foot, you can't use that foot. It's like having a broken foot.
Yeah,
while
that's
it
true.
heals.
Crazy.
And it's not guaranteed. They'll go in there, cut all deep, cut the whole fucking thing out by the root, and in a lot of them, it still comes back.
Wow.
It's like
Even when you cut it out by the root.
Yep.
Huh?
Just it's impressively hard to get rid of.
Wow. I had no idea. Anyway, let's get to some news, huh? I know Paul's trying to delay it.
Dude, I want to talk about bodily functions for as long as possible today.
So, we're going to start with some coronavirus stories because those are pretty uplifting. Coronavirus spreads faster outside China, stoking global fears. The new disease, COVID-19. COVID-19 sounds a lot scarier than coronavirus. Still not scary enough, though. Was also detected for the first time in Pakistan, Sweden, Norway, Greece, Romania, and Algeria.
Let's test it. Let's see if it's scary enough. Like,
you gotta do like the trailer voice.
Yeah. Well, or maybe like a leading man's gravelly voice over the voiceover. So here we go. I've been working on this one for a while.
Cool.
Let's see. The world changed. December 22nd, 2020. COVID-19 spread to America. It took root. Does that sound scary enough? COVID-19?
I would say no. I think you need something scarier.
You got like Resident Evil,
because your delivery was good.
Yeah.
The C virus, dude. Then everyone gets infected.
Nobody saw it coming.
The number of new coronavirus infections inside China, the source of the outbreak, was for the first time overtaken by fresh cases elsewhere on Wednesday, with Italy and Iran emerging as epicenters of the rapidly spreading illness. Asia reported hundreds of new cases. Brazil confirmed Latin America's first infection, and the new disease, COVID-19, was also detected for the first time in Pakistan, Sweden, Norway, Greece, Romania, and Algeria. U.S. President Donald Trump seeking to calm markets, because that's the top concern.
Yeah.
And an increasingly worried public said in a live broadcast that the United States was very, very ready.
Not just ready.
Not even just very ready.
Right.
Very, very ready to face the virus threat. We're going to get a little bit more into Trump's response in a minute here.
You know what this really says, TJ?
Yeah.
Coronavirus coming to a city near you. It's coming, dude.
Trump official refuses to say a coronavirus vaccine would be affordable to all.
Why would he make a promise like that for his pharmaceutical daddies and deny them a bunch of money?
Alex Azar, Donald Trump's health secretary, has told politicians he cannot guarantee that a coronavirus vaccine will be affordable to everyone once it has been developed. Giving evidence to Congress on the administration's efforts to contain the deadly virus, Mr. Azar said, "We would want to ensure that we work to make it affordable, but we can't control that price because we need the private sector to invest. Price controls won't get us there."
We're fucking punk. Fuck you, you bourgeoisie piece of shit. Yeah, I'll be able to afford it.
You poors are going to have to die. I don't know what to tell you.
That's all I care about. I'll be able to afford it. Me and my children will all have it, but I can't really guarantee that everybody will be able to afford not to die of a horrible fucking pneumonia illness.
Well, how much do you want to bet that this guy, Alex Azar, probably is from the pharmaceutical industry or has close ties with it?
Oh, I can almost guarantee it.
It's almost 100%.
I can almost guarantee that's why he's got his job.
Just fucking pathetic, man. The fact that life-saving drugs, like back when they came up with the polio vaccine, Jonas Salk, the guy that one of the inventors of it,
sure.
excuse me, gave away the patent.
Yeah,
the same with diabetes.
He gave it to the government
at the University of Toronto when they came up with it. Basically, when you had type 1 diabetes, you fell into a coma and you basically you never woke up.
Jonas Salk is fucking dead.
Yep.
You want to hear it?
Literally and figuratively.
Reaffirm, then you're saying it will for sure be affordable for anyone who needs it.
I'm saying we would want to ensure.
Yeah, just stop right there.
We work to make it affordable, but we can't control that price because we need the private sector to invest. The priority is to get vaccines and therapeutics. Price controls won't get us there.
Mr. Secretary.
Yeah,
really?
Right as she's getting to an interesting point, the gentlewoman's time has expired.
Your time has expired. You got to go. Shut up.
What a great system we've got.
Shut up.
Should the vaccine or the drugs that treat it be affordable? No.
Well, we can't do that.
All right,
private sector.
Heard enough about that.
Yeah, the private sector's got to make money off of this. Come on now. Why would they invest if they can't make a killing off the backs of poor people?
Harvard scientist predicts coronavirus will infect up to 70% of humanity.
Oh, boy.
Harvard University epidemiologist Mark Lipsitch is predicting the coronavirus will ultimately not be containable and within a year will infect somewhere between 40 and 70% of humanity, The Atlantic reports. But don't be too alarmed. Oh, okay.
Woo! Wow, they buried that deep in this fucking story.
Millions dead.
I think you might want to lead with that.
Many of those people, Lipsitch clarifies, won't have severe illnesses or even show symptoms at all, which is already the case for many of the people who've tested positive for the virus. So this virus, just because you get it, you're not necessarily going to get the symptoms of it. You might just be a carrier. Yeah. That's precisely why he doesn't think the virus can be stopped. Right, because if you don't show signs of having a virus, you don't know if you're spreading it.
I mean, it could be stopped with a national fucking inoculation program like we've done for measles, mumps, rubella. That used to be like standard procedure. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor. My mom was dirt fucking trailer park poor and has the scar from her polio vaccine because it used to be delivered with this big round stamp thing.
Yeah, that they like push. Yeah. It was like a pressure shot.
Yeah. And so she bears that scar on her arm to this day. Dirt ass, barefoot, oaky poor. And she was inoculated against that. So don't tell me it's impossible to ensure that this disease doesn't spread.
It's impossible, Paul. Well, it's impossible. It's impossible to do it and also make sure that the pharmaceutical industry makes a tidy profit.
Right.
Because that's the top priority.
If this is true, it's way more likely due to the involvement of private capital in our fucking health system that makes this a 70% infection rate eventually.
Oh yeah, 40 to 70%.
I mean, you can only do so much to contain pandemics as well. I mean, look at the unprecedented steps they've had in Wuhan, China. I mean, there's literally videos
such as this one here.
I mean, there's literally fucking people like at night going like screaming because they're just contained like fucking animals in a cage.
Like these here. Chinese city of Shenzhen to ban eating cats and dogs as part of moves to stop spread of coronavirus.
Hey, they finally got there. All it took was an apocalyptic disease to convince them that fucking eating dogs and cats is wrong.
Shenzhen has introduced a draft regulation to ban eating cats and dogs as part of a nationwide drive to implement a total ban on the consumption of wild animals following the COVID-19 outbreak.
It's like, I get it back in the day, but China, there's other meats. Newsflash, we've discovered other meats. There's like pork. You know what I mean? Like how... I don't get it. Like in the modern age, I don't get living in a place where you're butchering dogs still.
Makes no sense.
Look, a lot of these places, like, we have places like China. There's so many people. There's these wet markets they're bringing all these animals into. You just have the perfect fucking scenario for these diseases to form. You have all these different animals meeting. You have all these different people and all this different trade going from China. I mean, China, like that Wuhan district, has affected just the production of a number of industries. So it's like they're shipping shit all over the world. I mean, we live in a global society now. To believe this pandemic was not going to eventually happen, it was kind of silly. And people have been predicting it for years. And every expert on this has not said, well, if we have a pandemic, it's always when we have a pandemic. And this is clearly going to become a pandemic. I mean, it's already spreading all over the world. There's no way to stop it. There's no possible way to stop this disease from spreading to everywhere on the planet at this point.
I don't know. If we got a fucking immunization shot for it.
I mean, they said that's about
and then shipped that fucking shit to every corner of the goddamn earth.
Well, that's about my research. That's at least about a year away from treatment for this disease.
That primate center in Covington, Louisiana, is actually one of the places working on the vaccine. So the coronavirus is already here.
Oh God!
all it takes is some monkeys escaping, which they've done, which they've actually done like 3 or 4 times. So
cool.
Fuck me.
Paul's gonna be walking, dying, or gets bitten by a monkey at the coronavirus.
Monkey fucking comes barreling out of the woods.
Like, oh shit! It bit me. The thing bit me.
A corona monkey. Fuck. Why do I live here? This fucking place.
The coronavirus monkey effects, Paul.
Coronavirus bombshell as 14% of patients who recovered test positive again.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So they only temporarily recovered from it then.
China has discovered that roughly 14% of patients who recover from coronavirus test positive for the killer disease again, with the mechanism behind the virus's apparent ability to reinfect a complete mystery. This comes after Japan reported that a female tour bus guide aged in her 40s had tested positive for the COVID-19 virus for a second time in Osaka. Normally, when you overcome a virus, you gain immunity for a while afterwards, which is why it's so rare for children to get chickenpox twice. The statistics from China came from reports that hospitals in Guangdong province, a positive test means the recovered patients may still be carrying the virus, StraitsTimes.com reported. Currently, scientists do not know why it happened and whether these patients could still be infectious, said Song Tai, deputy director of the Guanghong
I don't buy that.
Center of Disease Control and Prevention.
Dude, if this is what we're hearing, they know a lot more than they're fucking letting on.
It is fucking spreading rapidly right now.
It's a super virus.
I mean, when you have the CDC coming out, you might even have pulled something like that, TJ. So we actually didn't review this. We normally do that. But the CDC has already said, like, expect a disruption in your life. I mean, it's almost certainly going to come. You know, I mean, I don't know what steps are going to be taken here, or how bad it's going to be here. Or, I mean, look, this isn't like the Ebola virus or anything where it's going to, you know, you're going to fucking
dude, if anything,
blood.
We're in a fucking high risk area if it becomes like if it really spreads and fucking, because lax ass fucking public health enforcement. I mean, I've seen dirtier shit here than anywhere in the fucking world. It seems like a place that's just ripe to have 20% of it wiped out by a super virus at some point. You know what I mean? Puddles of fucking shit in the streets.
Well, the fatality
sit
rate
there for months. You know what I mean?
Well, the fatality rate is about 2.3%. So you're not gonna have like 20%.
Monkeys that escape from fucking medical research labs routinely. I mean, it's not. This is not a. You know what I mean?
It's coming.
The army of the 12 monkeys, dude.
Macron warns France that coronavirus epidemic is coming.
Oh my God!
He ain't wrong.
President Emmanuel Macron on Thursday said a coronavirus epidemic was inevitable in France, as his government and others worldwide bolstered measures to fight the spread of infection.
So, TJ, let me ask you a question, TJ. In Hong Kong and in China, TJ,
yeah,
massive protest.
Right.
In France,
massive protest.
Massive protest, TJ. Is it not a coincidence now that the coronavirus has conveniently spread to all these places where people are challenging the globalist system, TJ?
Wow. No, I don't think it is. That's
holy
crazy.
Shit. Dude,
Good
mind
point.
blown.
Blind moan. Macron visited a Paris hospital where a 60-year-old Frenchman this week became the second person to die from the coronavirus in France and sought to reassure a medical professional angry over healthcare spending that it had his support. We have a crisis before us. An epidemic is on its way. Macron, dressed in a suit and without any protective gear, told a group of doctors. That's because he's part of the elite. He already has the fucking inoculation.
Yeah, he's already been cured of it, TJ. He's
he already
immune to
has
it.
the secret inoculation.
None of these world leaders are even concerned. Donald Trump's going to be just fine.
The coronavirus has infected more than 80,000 people and killed nearly 2,800, the majority in China. Its rapid spread elsewhere in recent days has met the definition for a pandemic. France is on high alert after neighboring Italy became a new front in the global fight to contain the outbreak. France has registered 18 confirmed cases. The French government has instructed anyone returning from China, Singapore, South Korea, or the Italian regions of Lombardy and Veneto to take their temperature twice a day, wear a mask, and avoid all contact with weak and elderly people for 14 days.
So here's the reality. A bunch of people are fucking already picked this disease up, going to China, going to Singapore, going to Italy, and increasingly, any country you go to is going to be places where it's going to be, oh, that's a hotbed of coronavirus activity. It's not going away unless you're going to quarantine the entire population of the fucking planet. This disease is going to spread.
I say we do that.
I'm already pretty much quarantined.
Yeah, Paul's already imposed self-quarantine.
Yeah.
But you know what'll happen, though? This is going to happen with Paul. He's going to order some from China. Like, ooh, I need this whatever thing, this new gaming thing. He's going to get it.
Nope.
It's going to be on some bubble wrap. Paul's going to open it.
Dude, I can't even remember the last time I ordered a gaming thing.
You're going to order something online, Paul.
No.
Doesn't matter what it is.
No.
The bubble wrap's going to give you coronavirus.
I live like an ascetic monk, TJ.
Yeah. Ex-Obama health advisor calls Trump comments on coronavirus response incoherent.
Well, no fucking shit.
So that's
If
pretty...
he's telling people don't worry about it, then he's completely and utterly full of shit.
Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, a former health policy advisor in the Obama administration, said late Wednesday that he found President Trump's remarks during a news conference on his administration's response to the coronavirus outbreak a little incoherent. Only a little? That's good for him.
Hey, yeah, that's like a 4-star performance from Trump.
Speaking on MSNBC's Hardball, Emanuel, now a special advisor to the Director General of the World Health Organization, said that Trump's comments indicated how little the president knew about public health. He also
fucking shit.
If anything,
or anything else for that matter. He also stressed that health officials still do not know vital information about the virus, which first appeared in China and has since infected more than 80,000 people in more than 36 countries. The U.S. has reported 60 confirmed cases of the virus.
You know what the fucked up thing about this is that people don't really talk about?
Yeah.
he has no excuse not to be this ill-informed. He's literally, like, think about it. Think about this, TJ.
Yeah.
As you sit here making your content, we're sitting here, you could just pick up the phone, or maybe not even pick up the phone, just hit a button on your desk and order one of the world's foremost experts in that to come and give you the fucking layman's lowdown on it.
Right. And he doesn't.
That's literally Trump's position.
Yeah.
Trump can press a button on his desk and have one of the foremost experts of the world on the line ready to give him the layman's fucking lowdown on literally anything.
Yeah. And
anything in the fucking world that we know about, he can be briefed on.
At any time.
And yet he stumbles out to the fucking thing and goes, I'm not real worried about it. You shouldn't worry too much. It's okay. Everything's fine.
Well, let's hear some of his comments here.
We have in quarantine those infected and those at risk. We have a lot of great quarantine facilities. Of the 15 people,
Oh, God, we're doomed.
Fuck me.
We have great quarantine facilities.
No excuse to be this fucking dumb.
original 15, as I call them, 8 of them have returned to their homes, to stay in their homes until fully recovered. 1 is in the hospital, and 5 have fully recovered.
We don't know that, though.
1 is, we think, in pretty good shape.
We don't know any. See, everything he said.
Awesome.
None of that's certain.
One we think is in pretty good
We
shape.
don't have any idea.
Oh, that assuages my fears.
Here's the guy calling him incoherent here.
Well, we have.
I guess it's not going to play that.
The reality is we have no idea what the disease is going to do and the course it's going to run.
Thankfully, Trump's not the one who's in charge of this.
Oh, yeah, thankfully. Yeah, sure.
Pence, dude. Trump puts Pence in charge of U.S. coronavirus response.
God has come to reap the sinners.
Let's hear this moment where he passes the buck on to Pence.
I'm going to be announcing exactly right now that I'm going to be putting our Vice President Mike Pence in charge. And Mike
who believes in talking
with the
snakes.
Professionals and doctors and everybody else that's working.
A guy that believes in talking snakes and talking donkeys is in charge, guys. It's
Everything's
okay.
gonna be fine.
It's fine. A guy that believes that like 3,000 years ago the earth flooded and a little old man on a boat had 2 of every animal on it. He's gonna handle our fucking response to a fucking virus.
I have total confidence.
Me.
But they're totally brilliant, and we're doing really well, and Mike is going to be in charge, and Mike will report back to me. But he's got a certain talent for this, and I'm going to ask Mike.
What is his talent?
According to what?
When has he ever demonstrated this?
Yeah, how many pandemics does Mike Pence have under his belt where he quarterbacks the whole fucking response?
The Ebola virus.
0?
The Spanish flu.
He's got a particular knack for this kind of thing that's never happened.
Trump said, because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. Very low, you guys.
Wow.
We're going to be fine.
Just look at the way that other world leaders are responding to this and how candid they're being with their fucking populace.
Yeah, Macron's like, all right, look, epidemic is inevitable. It's going to happen.
It's happening.
We need to be prepared for it.
Here's how you
Trump's
need to...
like, it's all fine. Everything's good. Pence is on the job.
We think one of the guys that got it might be pretty good, you know? We think he's doing okay.
The masks and stuff they need to try to prevent this stuff from spreading, just for healthcare workers, they estimate they need about 300 million of those, and they have about 30 million stockpiled.
Well, New York right now is actually a flashpoint for this, obviously, it being one of the most traveled cities in the United States. Yeah. And I was reading an article today that said that the governor has requested 300,000 respiratory masks for responders and to hand out in affected areas and shit.
Sure.
And they're just not getting them. They don't have
them.
And the government is just like, no. The government is stalling on filling these fucking order requests and shit. So it's like they're trying to let it get worse.
So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has responded to this Mike Pence situation.
Slay queen.
Mike Pence literally does not believe in science. It is utterly irresponsible to put him in charge of U.S. coronavirus response as the world sits on the cusp of a pandemic.
Great minds think alike.
This decision could cost people their lives. Pence's past decisions already have. as Governor Pence's science denial contributed to one of the worst HIV outbreaks in Indiana's history. He is not a medical doctor. He does
have a particular talent for shit like
this. He is not a health
this.
expert. He is not qualified nor positioned in any way to protect our public health. Yeah, it's real rich coming from a goddamn bartender, huh?
It's happening, TJ. The mega cities are coming, TJ. It's coming, TJ. They're going to take us out. You're being taken out, TJ. You're on fucking fire. The planet's on fire. You're about to die, TJ. You're going to be coronavirus patient number 1 in Louisiana. You're going to be dead.
But with all this coronavirus stuff going on, the American public, they're not really paying too much attention because
Why would they?
They got bigger concerns. Bigger concerns, you guys.
Such as?
They had their eyes molested, Paul, by the Super Bowl halftime show. The FCC has received 1,300 complaints about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Only 1,300?
Their eyes were molested. Who the fuck
we
are
had
you?
our eyes molested.
They was acting too scantily as they danced about.
The Federal Communications Commission. Don't laugh, you guys. This is serious.
Sorry, man.
Received 1,312 complaints about singers Shakira and Jennifer Lopez performed during the halftime show.
1,300
Super Bowl, whatever that fucking Roman numeral is. Live.
1,300 busybodies.
Shakira and Lopez's routine included belly dancing, pole dancing, and other sexually suggestive acts.
Oh, no.
Which led to a torrent of criticism from viewers who said the show was far from family friendly. Hundreds of people submitted complaints and notices to the federal government in response to the performance, according to WFAA. The show was not appropriate for a general audience. It was sexually explicit and would have been considered soft porn not so many years ago. No, it would never have been considered soft porn.
I mean, maybe in the Victorian era. You know what I mean? Okay.
I did not subscribe to the Playboy channel. We do not buy porn for $20 a flick. We simply wanted to sit down as a family and watch the Super Bowl, a viewer from Tennessee said. God forbid we expected to watch football and a quick concert, but instead had our eyes molested.
Wait a minute.
No!
They said they want to watch the Super Bowl. The halftime is not part of the Super Bowl.
Right.
You don't have to watch it. If you find it inappropriate, turn off the television at that point.
By the time it started, those fat, juicy ass cheeks and them big old titties had hypnotized us and changed the channel.
By the way, the fucking large fucking men throwing themselves at each other is like fucking literally hitting each other, getting knocked out, getting injured, violent acts, no problem. Like those guys, yeah, they can fucking get concussed.
I was just trying to watch some good old family-friendly violence when all of a sudden a woman's butt was jiggling at me.
Get concussed into a fucking vegetable. That's all right. Oh, you saw
That's
an ass?
the American way, goddammit.
It's so fucking typical of our country. Violent acts, fucking large fucking dudes throwing themselves at each other and getting knocked out, all kinds of other shit. That's totally fine.
Well, what about this, Scotty? How about
someone pole dance?
Hey, wait a minute,
though.
Scotty. Wait a minute. What about this guy? As a father of 2 teen girls, I feel.
Shut up.
Hold on, Paul. You listen to this. This guy makes a good point. As a father of 2 teen girls, I feel obligated at this point to file a complaint, as I am at my wit's end. We need to do better. Much, much better. Please help put a stop to this disgraceful type of behavior being pushed on our children.
Apparently this guy doesn't know what TikTok is or Snapchat or any of the other places these kids are hanging out, assuredly.
Complaints poured in from 49 states, the most coming from Texas with 102. The state with no complaints was Vermont. Okay.
Good job, Vermont.
Roughly 102 million people tuned into the Super Bowl on February 2nd. The
Dude,
Kansas
it's a sign.
City, yeah. We know what the
Bernie's from Vermont, dude. Vermont, the only reasonable place left in the world.
Look, they shook their asses. What's the problem?
Everybody in Vermont that might have been offended by this just changed the fucking channel. They watched the Kiddie Bowl for 15 minutes.
Or the Puppy Bowl or whatever the fuck it is, the puppy halftime show.
Look, those asses were banging. That's all I'm saying.
Up, clapping, slapping, flipping, and flopping.
I wanted to eat them booties like groceries. Yeah. All right. Woman said she zipped boyfriend in suitcase as joke. Video shows she taunted him as he died, cops say. Yeah.
It's a prank, bro. Oh, look in the suitcase. It's a prank, bro. It's a prank. Oh, you're dying.
Sarah Boone said she and her live-in boyfriend were drinking wine, playing hide and seek Sunday when they decided it'd be funny if he climbed into a suitcase and she zipped him inside. According to an affidavit, Boone told detectives she went to bed assuming he'd free himself, only to awake the next day to find him still in the suitcase, dead. But authorities say a video on her smartphone told a different story. In it, Boone laughed and taunted 42-year-old, is it George or I don't know, George Torres Jr., as he pleaded from the suitcase that he could not breathe. "That's on you," said Boone, as described by Orange County Sheriff's Office Detective Chelsea Connolly in an affidavit. "Oh, that's what I feel like when you cheat on me."
Oh, so.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
What a dumbass letting a chick you cheated on zip you up in a suitcase for the memes.
Don't step in anyone's car you don't know like this. And also, don't fucking get into a goddamn suit. Hey, it would be funny. We put you in a suitcase and zipped you up. Fuck that shit. I can get in a fucking suitcase.
Boone, 42, was arrested Tuesday on a second-degree murder charge. According to the affidavit, Boone called 911 around 1 p.m. Monday from her home in the 4,000 block of France Lane in Goldenrod to say Torres was dead. Firefighters arrived and confirmed his death, finding the man's body by the house's front door near a blue suitcase. In an interview with detectives, Boone said she and Torres had been alone in the house around about 5 p.m. Sunday, painting pictures and completing puzzles while they shared a bottle of Chardonnay. They played hide and seek later in the evening, she claimed, with her hiding in an upstairs shower. Later, they decided it'd be funny to zip him in the suitcase in the living room. She told detectives Torres climbed inside willingly and she zipped it. 2 of his fingers were able to stick out of the case, she said, explaining she thought her boyfriend could get himself out. Boone said she went to bed around 12:30 a.m. Monday. Sarah assumed George was going to get out of the suitcase and come to bed as well, Connolly wrote. Sarah said neither her nor George were drunk from the wine. She said she awoke in the morning hearing her cell phone ringing repeatedly but ignored the calls, assuming they were from her ex-husband. Boone told detectives she stayed upstairs until about 11 a.m., assuming Torres was job searching on his laptop downstairs. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, she's full of shit.
Yeah, she killed the guy.
Yeah, she fucking killed him. I mean,
she's mad at. I mean, there's a video of her saying, "Oh, you didn't cheat on me." Then, like, she just basically, like, we're in the age now where people that do this kind of dumb shit tattle on themselves and social media and shit.
Oh, you gotta love that, dude. It's like the best thing about social media is when someone's like, "Oh, I'm innocent," then they go on their phone. It's all like the evidence is right there. The only thing dumber than this would have, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she had fucking posted this online. Like, I'm teaching him a lesson. I'm posting this to YouTube or fucking Snapchat or Instagram. Like, he's in a suitcase. That's what you get for cheating.
Clout.
Oh, dude, if she posted this and this guy had not died, if he'd just been like, he was found dehydrated,
yeah, a bunch of women would be like, you slay, queen. You go, girl.
You teach him a lesson. He cheated on you, locked him in a suitcase.
That's what he deserved.
Oh, shit.
High school student flooded with letters of support after being denied Christian club on campus. A 14-year-old high school freshman in New York received an outpouring of support from students across the nation after she was initially blocked from starting a Christian student club at her school because it was religious and not generic enough. Generic. After it was announced that Wappinger Falls Ketchum High School in upstate New York had reversed its decision, Daniela Barca told Fox News she wanted to start the club because sometimes it feels like it's just me as a young Christ follower. Christ follower? Is that what Christians are called now?
They get to call themselves all kinds of ostentatious shit.
Fox and Friends co-host Pete Hegseth, I don't know, told her, Daniela, you don't know it, but you're a culture warrior, and you're in 9th grade, and it's awesome. Thank you so much for standing up for your beliefs.
I mean, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think she should be able to start the club.
Yeah, I don't think there should be any fucking law against any kind of club. Like, that's what that time is set aside for in the educational world.
Right. I mean, when
for
it comes
kids to go and do things they're interested in and socialize with like-minded people. So
when it comes to prayer in school, as long as it's not mandated, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I've talked about it all the time. When I was in high school, there was open prayer that went on. Like, there was a group like this that during our recesses and shit would meet out in the middle of a field and hold hands in a ring and pray and shit.
Right.
Nobody gave a fuck. Yeah, we made fun of them a little bit.
Bunch of fucking dorks, dude.
You know what I mean?
In the field.
But they have the right to do it, and then that's fine.
Right.
Whatever. They could go. I mean, like, you want to do that. That's your thing. Have at it. If you want to have a Christian club, that's fine.
The great thing about prayer, too, is I understand it, at least to most people, you can do it in your head. So I don't even care if you pray in the middle of class. You're sitting in front of the Scantron, you're about to take the goddamn test, and you want to bow your head and pretend you're talking to, God or whatever the fuck. I don't care. It's when you force me to stand up and do the prayer.
Yeah, as long as they can have an atheist club or whatever other clubs they want. I don't give a shit what clubs they have.
Any student club.
I was a culture warrior too, but I was denied.
Yeah, I know.
I tried to start the Caucasian Culture Club, the CCC. Yeah, and I was outright told by the administration, this will never happen, and you need to stop asking for it.
But you know what though? If you had actually contacted the ASLU or something, they would have been on your side.
Oh, I'm sure they would have. Well, I don't know. See, I don't know. That's the fucked up thing. There were 3. I'm not even bitching about it. It wasn't a big deal.
I know.
It was just going to be the same dorks I was already hanging out with in my free time. You know what I mean? So I didn't really need the club. It was just more of a statement. There were 3 separate Latino clubs in my high school.
Right. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
There was the Mexican American Club. There was the Maya Club, it was called, which was another subset of it. And then there was like a Hispanics only kind of, what do they call it? Agriculture club.
Right.
And so me and my friends were just kind of jokingly sitting around one day, and we were like, well, if they get 3, can white kids get 1? We're going to start the Caucasian Culture Club.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were like some white power ideologues or something.
No.
We just want to fucking dork. But you want a dorky ass little group.
I think the school just saw like this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, this is a provocative move.
I don't think because
they were probably right.
Yeah, I think I honestly do think that you have the right to start it, but I can understand why the administration was like, I don't think we want to do this. Because,
Oh, it would have been a shitstorm for sure.
It would have been a giant shitstorm.
One of the tenets was there was no racial component to who could join. Anybody could join the Caucasian Culture Club.
Okay, well,
And that was not true for the Latino American clubs.
Right, so you guys were more inclusive.
Yeah,
I tried to sell it that way to the fucking vice principal that ultimately pulled the plug on it. I was like, look, dude, more kids are going to be invited into anybody can join.
Doesn't matter what you are.
Doesn't matter what your color is or what your religion is, man. It's for everybody.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I think they had the racist position, Paul. Paul, if your group allowed anyone to join, then hey, yeah. Sounds like they're the racist.
Federal appeals court rules tech platforms can censor content.
Bravo.
Yes!
This was a...
Censor them! Censor them!
A federal appeals court on Wednesday ruled that internet giants like Google and Facebook can censor content on their platforms, rebuking arguments from conservatives who claim that tech companies violate users' First Amendment rights by removing certain messages or videos. With its unanimous opinion, the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals became the latest court to dismiss arguments that platforms like YouTube can be sued under the First Amendment for decisions on content moderation. Despite YouTube's ubiquity and its role in as a public-facing platform, it remains a private forum, not a public forum subject to judicial scrutiny under the First Amendment. Circuit Judge M. Margaret McCowan wrote in the opinion. The 3-judge panel upheld a lower court's decision to dismiss the case. Dennis Prager, founder of the conservative advocacy organization Prager University, first sued Google in 2017 over claims that its subsidiary YouTube was prioritizing left-leaning content over PragerU's popular conservative videos. PragerU lost the case when U.S. District Judge Lucy Coe declared that YouTube is a private company and therefore can't be treated similarly to state actors. Prager had sought to argue.
Okay. Well, here's the problem with that. So corporations have all the rights, but none of the responsibilities.
Yeah.
So their platform, it's a private platform built on the backbone of public funding. I mean, yeah, YouTube exists, but doesn't it exist but fucking separate? It's like a separate microcosm that, it just exists here. Like, how do people connect to YouTube? How do people find YouTube with these devices? It's like, I understand you saying, the First Amendment doesn't apply because that's the government censoring you. But yet, we've all made the argument on the show before, the public square is increasingly online. These are the platforms where people get their information from. And to say that some technocrat in San Francisco or Mountain View gets to determine what gets to be on that platform is basically saying, okay, well, the government can't do it, but this guy can, or this group can. That's kind of fucking insane to me.
If we cannot, I would say, honestly, that if you can't broaden the concept of the First Amendment to include this, then you need a fucking new amendment.
Yeah.
You need something else because these protections have to be put in place.
Right.
Because otherwise what we're going to end up is a fucking a technological fucking, oligarchy where basically like a few tech giants, a few tech giants get to decide what you get to hear, what you don't get to hear. Their political views will inform what sort of politics, are allowed on these giant platforms.
Well, if you believe the intelligence, like that, Russia swayed the 2016 election, and there's all these different agents and actors, agent provocateurs and stuff. They're going.
I guarantee Google has a lot more sway and influence over the election than Russia does.
Of course they do, and that's the fucked up thing is we're talking about Russia.
It seems kind of pertinent that they don't pay their fucking taxes too.
Of course.
They get giant tax subsidies. They use loopholes to avoid paying taxes. They're on fucking, they're on fucking, the internets and the fucking cell towers and all the stuff that's been subsidized by government dollars. And yet they're just totally free to censor any opinion they don't like.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, when it comes to PragerU, I think PragerU is fucking retarded. I think their content is insipid fucking garbage. Every video they've ever put out has been a piece of shit without exception. I've yet to see one PragerU video that I fucking agree with.
And the benefit to society, the further pollution and corruption of free speech.
Yeah.
The erosion of one of the, for me, the most important thing about the country we live in.
And the only argument I heard going on in all the comment sections of like Reddit and these websites when I read about this,
it's all on technicalities.
It was like, the First Amendment is the government. It's like that doesn't end the debate. You're basically saying that you're fine with these platforms kicking off whoever they want, censoring whatever opinion they want. And basically, they're the deciding factor.
It's these same fucking liberals who, when it comes to the Second Amendment, they're like, oh, well, no, things have changed. That was written back when there was muskets and all this stuff. We need to fucking reinterpret for modern times. But when it comes to doing that for the First Amendment, it's like, well, the First Amendment technically doesn't protect. It's like, come on, you got to fucking change with the fucking times. The Founding Fathers didn't know about fucking Google and Twitter and all these giant fucking social media platforms owned. Like, why should, someone like Jack from fucking Twitter, why should he have as much power over the public discourse and what you can see and hear and think as he does? There's no compelling reason that he should.
It's a private company.
Just to show you how far, like, being quote unquote liberal has traveled from me. Like, it's actually really shocking to me that liberals would be against this. The party of like mass conglomerations of people using their freedom to peaceably assemble and their freedom of speech to massively shift public opinion on topics and governmental opinion on topics is now against people being able to freely express themselves.
Well, yeah, because under that basis, let's say there's a popular political candidate, but the elites or the establishment is against them. Oh, we'll ban them from those platforms. What's to stop them?
It's just it's unconscionable to me. Like, I couldn't be farther from that. I could not. What are the stances of the political candidates on this shit? Where does Bernie stand on YouTube?
I have no idea.
They need to, like, this is something I want to hear all of them speak on. Because how could I vote? What if Bernie's just a supporter of this? Oh yeah, private company, whatever. I'm not gonna touch it.
Yeah, I have no idea. That should be. Maybe someone will ask him. Louisiana judge apologizes for racial slurs in text messages.
What an empty apology.
A Louisiana judge has apologized for using racial slurs in angry text messages, which she now admits she sent during an argument with her lover in an extramarital affair. District Judge Jesse LeBlanc told WAFB-TV in an interview Sunday that she admits using a slur to describe a black sheriff's deputy and a black law clerk in a text message she sent to Assumption Parish. Assumption Parish, I love it.
I wonder what
Chief
she called
Deputy
them.
Bruce Prejean, as their affair ended. I admit I used that word, LeBlanc, who is white, told the TV station.
I think we all know what word she was using.
I profusely apologize for that. I should never have said it. It was uncalled for. I was angry. I was upset, but it's no excuse. All right, well then,
you're an Assumption.
Recuse yourself from leave the bench.
Step on down.
You're in Assumption Parish, Louisiana. You were being racist and you were caught doing it. Now you have some empty apology. Come on, give me a break.
It being Louisiana, I assume that there is a large black population in this parish.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
So yeah, you're a judge and it's your job to be impartial, and you just revealed what you think.
About a large swath of the population.
LeBlanc said she doesn't believe the affair would cause any trial verdicts in her court to be overturned. She also said she has no plans to resign.
Of course.
And instead is gearing up to seek re-election. The judge's current term in southern Louisiana's 23rd Judicial District expires in December. The district includes Assumption, Ascension, and St. James parishes.
That's like bumfuck, dude.
It's total bumfuck. And she probably will win re-election.
Almost certainly.
I like what she said.
She put them in their place. You know, yeah. We already know that kind of thought.
Part of federal monument on Arizona border blown up for border fence despite archaeological concerns.
Sweet.
The U.S. government demonstrated how it's blasting a federal monument to prepare for a new border fence along the Mexican border in southern Arizona on Wednesday. Border officials kept journalists a half-mile away from the blast site on the slope of Monument Hill near Lukeville, Arizona. Crews had buried hundreds of pounds of ammonium nitrate in dozens of holes along a 250-foot stretch on the hill's eastern slope to demonstrate the blast. The Border Patrol contends that no archaeological sites were found on Monument Hill, either now or when border fences first went up in the area in 2007.
Wait a minute, they demonstrated?
They demonstrated.
So they did this gigantic blast just to show people what it was going to look like when they do the gigantic blast?
I do not know. I was kind of confused by that wording. Let's see. Is this going to show the blast or is this just unrelated bullshit? Looks like unrelated bullshit. All those cultural surveys were coordinated with the Tohono O'odham Nation. Nothing was found at the time. We've done surveys again, most recently for this particular area. Again, nothing found for this construction corridor, said Paul Enriquez, the Border Patrol Border Wall Program Management Office. Tohono O'odham Nation leaders say the bones of Apaches are scattered on that hill. Local archaeologists have pottery shards within feet of the construction zone nearby to Monument Hill, and fragments of human remains were found in the area of construction last November. That kind of sounds like...
So they're blown up and... Okay, I get it.
Yeah, they're just blowing up an Indian burial ground. They're just trying to invite fucking a haunting. You know? That's cool.
All to build
a poltergeist, dude.
All to build a stupid ass fence.
Indians don't fuck around like ghosts.
Yeah.
When you fuck with an Indian burial ground, they send zombies.
Yeah, they send all kinds of shit after you. They'll make trees come alive.
Send kids with fucking straight razors.
Video, 2 climb over border wall with makeshift ladder. Let's take a look.
Okay. I think this is in San Diego.
This wall doesn't look very
I like how they decorated the wall.
Is this part of Trump's wall? It looks older. I think this is probably part of the existing...
yeah, this is not new.
This is like near San Diego. I've seen people climb over this wall. We saw a video of some Mexican politician do it, remember?
Yeah. So they just climb... okay. Oh, I see.
Is that them there doing it?
Yeah, I think they've
They're just stepping down off the ladder.
They've already crossed over. I was filming at the border of Playas de Tijuana when a young man wearing a gray sweatsuit used a makeshift ladder to scale the fence on the Mexican side. He ran through what can be best described as a no man's land between the two fences as a man on the Mexican side shouted "hurry" to him. The man climbed a second fence, and within a few seconds, he was in the United States. He ran to a set of Jersey barriers on the beach and hid between them. A man who I assumed is a coyote and shouted at me whether I was filming. At that moment, I was not. I looked away from the wall and saw 7 other young men wearing the same gray sweatsuits sitting on a men in a gazebo. What does that mean? That is less than 100 feet from the wall. I noticed several other men in the area with headphones in their ears as though they were watching to see whether U.S. Border Patrol agents were on the other side. A Tijuana police car was parked next to the gazebo. A few minutes after I was the man climb over the fence. This person needs some grammar lessons. Maybe they're an illegal alien too. Marine Commandant banishes Commandant banishes Confederate symbols from all Corps installations. Marine Corps Commandant General David Berger has ordered all Confederate-related paraphernalia to be removed from Marine Corps installations, his spokesman confirmed on Wednesday. A document showing the Commandant's decision appeared online on Wednesday, though it did not say when all of the Confederate-related paraphernalia needed to be removed by. Berger's spokesman confirmed to Task and Purpose that the commandant had sent a directive to his senior staff ordering all installations to get rid of symbols of the Confederate States of America. It is kind of weird. I mean, like we won this war quite a long time ago, right? I mean,
yeah,
the Confederacy was defeated, and yet it's taken until 2020 when we're like, maybe we shouldn't fly the flag of a defeated enemy in our own military bases and stuff.
It's pretty crazy that it's taken this long to come to that realization. But
how dare you teach us about our heritage?
Okay.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any dissent in the ranks. The military's got a different set of fucking rules. You just don't tell a commandant to go fuck himself.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, well,
they're going to take it down.
This is what we're doing now.
Well, it's just shocking.
People in the towns might fucking, they might protest.
It's a divisive issue with people like, no, the Confederate flag needs to fly, but it's like the Confederacy's long fucking dead. The South will rise again. Shit ain't happening. Also, though, I mean, I'm assuming these are federal installations, so why do they need the fucking goddamn not the Marine Corps, but why do they need the fucking Confederate flag to fly anyways? Why should it fly?
So I only have one trailer for us this week. This is going to be the last piece of content for the plebs.
Oh.
This is the trailer for Candyman, the remake of Candyman.
Oh, shit.
So, Paul, are you excited?
I've never been a big fan of Candyman, so I couldn't care.
Maybe this time they're going to do it right, though, Paul.
I want that Pumpkinhead reboot. That's the one I'm waiting for. But yeah, let's check it out.
Let's see.
The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
Who would do that?
Candyman. 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 Candyman.
Don't do it.
Candyman. Well, we're still alive.
That ain't Candyman.
Trina, you broke the door. This isn't funny!
Them bees.
I feel really connected to this neighborhood. Cabrini Green. It was the projects. I just moved in around the corner.
The old candy factory.
I'm an artist.
You looking for Candyman? He's the monster that's part of this neighborhood.
Why are you drawn to this?
I'm hoping to spread the story all about Candyman. The mirror invites you to summon him. You should say his name. I dare you.
Candyman. Candyman.
Candyman.
Candyman.
Don't do it.
Candyman.
He real.
I think I made a mistake. I brought him.
Maybe I'm Candyman.
Maybe Candyman's looking for a human host.
Here's my issue with it. What if 2 people call Candyman at the same time?
Well, we just saw it happen. We saw like 4 girls stand in the mirror.
But in separate locations.
Yeah, in separate locations, though.
Oh. I don't know.
Does Candyman have like a priority, like you said it first? Or what if they say the same? What if they said the exact same time?
What if it really caught on and Candyman's like, I am coming to kill you, but you are number 6,421 in the queue.
Yeah,
please
I don't
wait
know.
while Candyman kills his other victims.
Maybe that's why he's looking for a human host in this one.
Yeah.
Back.
Candyman isn't real!
I mean, I think at that point, you got to kind of say he is. There's like a bunch of people dead,
I got to tell you this, too. She's definitely killed by Candyman in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
That woman dies to Candyman in this movie.
Candyman isn't real!
Yeah.
Something's happening to me.
He had a
To
purpose
say
for
his
you.
name.
To be another one of his terrible stories.
I guess he found me.
I am the writing on the wall, the sweet smell of blood. Be my victim.
This is not real. It's not real.
Oh, it is. Looks basically the same as the fucking other Candyman movies.
Yeah.
Candyman.
Doesn't really seem like they've really done anything like drastically new with it, at least based on that trailer.
Will he become Candyman?
And with that, I want to say, fuck you, plebs. We're done with you. You could see the rest of this show because we got a lot more stuff coming up. If you are a patron, you don't get to see it, though.
What a cock tease, TJ.
We're going to talk about the new James Bond movie a little bit.
Whoa.
We got some other stuff. We got some lesbian school teachers.
Ooh.
We got the new moon. Earth has another moon now. We got some socialist journalists. We got some fucking controversial Mardi Gras floats. We got some conservatives pissed at Pete Buttigieg. We got some new Joe Biden dumb shit. We got some election update kind of stuff.
Got a lot of shit.
Got a lot of stuff coming up, but you don't get to see it. Only our patrons get to see it because the patron part of the show begins now.
You edged those plebs, TJ.
I know, right?
Oh, I bet you like that, don't you?
The No Time to Die runtime is confirmed, and it's the longest Bond film ever. More like way too much time to die. Daniel Craig is bowing out as James Bond after No Time to Die, but he's making his stint as 007 last as long as humanly possible. Not content with playing the MI6 for longer than any other actor, his swan song will be the longest Bond film in the franchise, according to runtime details released by cinemas in the U.S. and the Netherlands. U.S. cinema chain Regal has revealed that the 25th Bond film will clock in at 163 minutes. That's 2 hours and 43 minutes, fact. Is that too long, Paul? I know you said you were looking forward to this. Do you feel like 2 hours and 43 minutes is too long of a runtime?
It depends. Like a long movie that I really enjoyed recently was, going and seeing Blade Runner 2145 or whatever the fuck it was.
2149.
Yeah. I mean, that's a long movie, but I didn't feel like I was tapping my foot through it. But it's not a good sign. You know what I mean? If the movie's good and if they manage to fill 3 hours with the kind of high octane Bond shit I'm looking for, then more power to them. But if it's padded the fuck out, and that's not really an option if you have a shorter runtime. Like if they told me this was like just over 90 minutes or something, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just going to be jam-packed with Bond, nonstop action. At 3 hours, you can't even have nonstop action. You start to get weary of it by the hour and a half mark,
I feel like for a movie to really pull off that 3 hour runtime, it's got to be fucking really super epic.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
You have to weigh it as, look, a lot of times, if you have studio interference, they want to cut movies down. So like a studio's ideal time for this movie probably would be more around like 2 hours. Because you think about more showings as well. Like the shorter a movie is, the more you can show it. It really depends on the final product. 'Cause I've seen movies, like you said, that are 2.5 hours. And there's movies that, the theatrical releases were not as good. Like A Kingdom of Heaven is one that comes to mind. There's another movie that the director's cut, which came out, which is longer.
I mean, all the Lord of the Rings films are good examples of.
So, I mean, you can have long, honestly, it's something you're going to have to wait and see. The runtime doesn't necessarily give me pause. It's just what they do with that runtime. Is it justified? Is it something that ultimately, while they had more time with these characters, they made the story more interesting, they made it more compelling? Or is it just like, like Paul said, just a spectacle?
Okay, so the previous longest Bond film was Spectre, which I sat out of that one.
Not a great movie.
This one's longer by a quarter of an hour. Oddly enough, Daniel Craig also did the shortest Bond film, which was Quantum of Solace, which had a runtime of 106 minutes.
Garbage.
They said it felt a lot longer. That's their commentary. I agree with it, though. I had no idea that movie was that short.
Yeah, it did feel a lot longer.
Quantum of Solace, I think it's probably... I mean, I didn't see Spectre, but I got to assume Quantum of Solace is worse than Spectre, because Quantum of Solace was ass.
Man, it's a toss-up. I mean, I would say Casino Royale and Skyfall are the two best Daniel Craig.
Regal's No Time to Die runtime contradicts that released by Russian cinema chain in January, but we're more confident this is the correct number, since, this is more recent.
I mean, it's Regal. I don't see what reason they have to lie about the runtime.
The runtime details land a day after the official Bond Twitter channel released a teaser feature with director Cary Fukunaga. in which he revealed that at the start of No Time to Die, Bond's been retired for 5 years, which is fair enough since 007's debut, and Dr. No, he's been working for 58 years. A bit of downtime is well earned. Okay, so it's going to be the longest Bond film. So fucking make sure you empty your bladder before you enter the theater,
yeah,
and
dude.
don't engorge that giant movie theater.
But that's like half the reason I want to go.
I mean, yeah, most people want the half gallon of soda, TJ.
What am I
Come
going to
on.
wash down my fucking giant trough of popcorn with?
I hope you time your mid-movie piss well and don't miss some crucial plot development.
I don't think you or Paul have small bladders, dude. No, that's more advice for me or people with small bladders.
Ryan Johnson reveals Apple won't allow bad guys in movies to use iPhones.
Whatever.
No wonder the killer in Knives Out is one of the only characters who does not use an Apple product. I don't know. Ryan Johnson
Spoiler
reveals,
alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
I guess now I'm not going to enjoy figuring out who's done it in that movie.
All right, well, maybe we'll skip this just for that reason.
I'm an Android user.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing that movie,
Yeah,
but it's one of those movies where, like, if you know who done it at the beginning, why even fucking bother?
So I guess we'll skip out on reading the article because it might.
No, I don't care.
It might spoil it. Well, I do. I don't want to fucking spoil it.
Knives Out, TJ.
But I guess you could just look out for the character who doesn't have an Apple product, and now you'll know who the bad guy is.
I've never been an Apple user. Like, okay.
I always did hate them Apple devices.
Android for life.
Fuck, man.
I'm an Android user myself.
A bunch of shit. What a shitty article. Is this guy's name Jack Shart?
Sharf.
Oh, okay. one letter off.
Sharf.
I like Jack Shart better.
Leave him alone. He didn't do it. Lesbian teacher suspended for showing photo of future wife gets $100,000 settlement.
Lesbian teacher.
It's kind of cool, to if you're gay and you get discriminated against in some official capacity, that's a good recipe for money. Like that cop, we covered that cop the other week.
He got way more though.
Yeah, he got a lot more.
Like, I guess it looks like this lesbian teacher got stiffed.
She got gypped. A Texas elementary school art teacher who was placed on administrative leave after showing her students photos of her fiance has reached a $100,000 settlement after a judge ruled her suspension was unconstitutional.
Good.
The agreements the district and I made in this settlement are a positive first step in making things better for gay employees, gay students, and gay families in Mansfield, the teacher Stacey Bailey told NBC Dallas-Fort Worth. The Mansfield Independent School District said that the two parties agreed to settle in an amicable manner and that it denied any wrongdoing or liability, telling NBC News in an email that the district wanted to avoid the time, expense, stress, and other impacts of continuing litigation, which would interfere with the mission of educating the students.
So basically what this is that they would have spent at least $100,000 going to court and going to trial and doing that. That was
so
like
they
the
just
minimum.
we'll just give it to you if you drop this.
Well, I mean, if she had shown photos of her husband, if she was straight, there would never have been an issue. The students would. So some kid probably just came home and said, "My teacher is marrying another woman." No, I'm calling the school right now.
Not on my watch.
Just let me there taking on my son's school. Whatever.
Yeah, according to the suit, a parent complained to the school board and the superintendent that Bailey was promoting a homosexual agenda in the classroom by showing students a picture of the woman who is now her wife during a Get to Know Your Teacher presentation. The complaint eventually led to Bailey, who was twice selected Teacher of the Year at her school, being placed on administrative leave.
Sounds like a terrible teacher.
In September 2017 and being asked the next month for her resignation, which she refused to give.
Well, she's totally right. Why the fuck should she resign? It was to get to know the teacher. This is who she is. She's not pushing an agenda.
She was pushing an agenda.
She is, in fact, gay, and she wanted to show pictures of her fiance. What's the harm in it?
Well, what this article leaves out is that in the picture she was eating her pussy.
Oh, okay, well, it's a little extreme.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
she
was carpet munching.
She did go a little too far. She's like, "This is me eating my fiance's pussy. You like it, kids?"
Looks like those wings are coming out of her ass.
Yeah, she's the
butt
winged
cheeks
ass
have wings.
teacher.
Sweet.
Let your butt take flight.
Yeah, no, this is utter stupidity. Especially considering she's like the best teacher in the school too. Just the opposite move any school district should be making ever.
I'm glad she got $100,000 and the school district had the fucking. I mean, they said they didn't admit any wrongdoing, but they're not going to do this again.
They got off fucking cheap.
They did.
At $100,000, they got off cheap.
Well, I think she just wanted to keep doing her job. She's like, look, this is bullshit. I'm suing you, but, I still want to fucking work here and help these kids. I mean, that's why look, being a teacher is not a fucking easy job by any stretch of the imagination. And to compound it with some whiner, fucking uptight, conservative Christian, no doubt, going, the homosexual didn't got kids' eyeballs. Guess what? That kid has to live in a fucking culture that he's going to be exposed to that, so just get over it.
A woman took 550 times the usual dose of LSD with surprisingly positive consequences.
Shocking.
Drug overdoses can be life-threatening, but for 2 women who accidentally took massive hits of LSD, the experience was life-changing, and in a good way. A 46-year-old woman snorted, Jesus Christ, snorted a staggering 550 times the normal recreational dose of LSD and not only survived, well, yeah, you're not going to... What?
Yeah, it's not going to kill you.
But found that the foot pain she had suffered from since her 20s was dramatically reduced. Separately, a 15-year-old girl with bipolar disorder overdosed on 10 times the normal dose of the drug, which she said resulted in massive improvement in her mental health.
Keep these drugs away from people.
I can see why these are illegal.
Yeah.
Their experiences were detailed in case reports published in the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs last month, along with that of a third woman who accidentally overdosed on LSD during the second week of pregnancy. She ultimately gave birth to a healthy son, now 18, who has not shown any impaired development. While the experiences of these women were exceptional, their stories can help inform the resurgence of research into the use of psychedelic substances for the treatment of conditions such as addiction, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety, the researchers believe.
I mean, isn't LSD considered a Schedule 1 narcotic?
Yes.
I mean, it's just unbelievable, dude. You could, like, I was just talking about this story with TJ last night. We were at Waffle House, and I was like, literally, we go down the street here and buy alcohol pretty much any place open, gas station, we can go buy alcohol there. The store up there, we can go buy alcohol. And if we drank 550 times the recommended dose, we would be fucking dead.
Dead.
Let's even say we drank, like, a couple of fucking glasses of it. Like, we couldn't drive home. We couldn't even fucking do anything. This person took 550 times the amount of what I guess a normal user, a normal hit would be, and she's alive and she's fine. And so that actually helped her.
She probably shouldn't be driving either, though.
I mean, that's I don't think she should be driving, but I'm saying, like, the point is that she's not dead.
Right. And in fact, had benefits in her life.
My foot pain stopped.
And increasingly with microdosing with mushrooms, microdosing with LSD, and these drugs, has shown such an vast improvement in people as compared to the pharmaceutical alternatives that don't really seem to help people that much. It seems to have a lot of negative side effects, negative impacts. It doesn't really deal with those issues. I mean, this is something that could really be beneficial as a therapy.
The 49-year-old woman known as CB had contracted Lyme disease in her early 20s, which damaged her feet and ankles and left her in significant pain. In September 2015, she took 55 milligrams of what she believed was cocaine, but was actually pure LSD in powder form. The authors defined a normal recreational dose as 100 micrograms, equal to 0.1 milligrams. The woman blacked out and vomited frequently for the next 12 hours, but reported feeling pleasantly high for the 12 hours after that, still vomiting, but less often. According to her roommate, she sat mostly still in a chair, either with her eyes open or rolled back, occasionally speaking random words. 10 hours later, she was able to hold conversation and seemed coherent. Her foot pain was gone the next day, and she stopped using morphine for 5 days. While the pain returned, she was able to control it with lower doses of morphine and a microdose of LSD every 3 days. After more than 2 years, in January 2018, she stopped using both morphine and LSD and reported no withdrawal symptoms, although the case report said she did not experience an increase in anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal. The case studies were compiled by Mark Hayden, Executive Director of Canada's Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, and an adjunct professor at the University of British Columbia School of Population and Public Health in Birgitta Woods, a psychiatrist in Vancouver. They noted in CB's case, ingestion of 550 times the normal recreational dosage of LSD was not fatal and had positive effects on the pain levels and subsequent morphine withdrawal. The authors noted in the study that no lethal dose of LSD has ever been documented, although they said scientists have estimated that a lethal dose in humans would be about 14,000 mcg. Cool. So
I mean,
if you got any problems in life, what I'm hearing here is just snort a fuck ton of LSD, and after your puking session,
it's like it gets all the poisons out.
Yeah, it detoxifies the body. It cures what ails you. How about this? We got a new moon, y'all. Got a little mini moon.
I don't even think this counts.
This is a
man.
moon. It is. It does, Paul.
This is bullshit.
It counts.
I read this and I was like, "Fuck, that's crazy." And then
it counts, Paul.
It's tiny.
It's a bullshit moon.
It's not a bullshit moon.
It's a bullshit moon.
It's the little moon that could.
It's like it's like a chunk of rock. It's not a moon.
It's a moon, Paul. It's not a moon.
Well, I can look up in the sky and see it with my own eyes, TJ. Then maybe I'll be impressed.
A tiny new moon apparently captured in Earth's orbit 3 years ago. The object has been designated 2020 CD3, a minor planet electronics circular for February 25th, 2020. Astronomers wrote that multiple observations confirmed. This object is temporarily bound to the Earth. No evidence of perturbations due to solar radiation pressure is seen, and no link to a known artificial object has been found.
You know what, TJ?
Further observations and dynamic studies are strongly encouraged.
You know what, TJ? Fuck this moon. One Earth, one moon. Blow this fucking goddamn bullshit pretender moon out of the fucking sky.
We need to send a space cowboy to straddle this moon and ride it around the orbit, dude. That's what I want to see. Yeehaw that fucking moon all the way around the Earth. In the craziest bull ride that's ever taken place.
Sponsored by Red Bull energy drink.
Because other than that, it's really not good for anything. What is it, like 6 feet to 11 feet long or some shit?
I don't know. But it's a nice little moon.
It's tiny.
House makes lynching a federal crime 65 years after Till.
It's not already?
I guess not. 65 years after 14-year-old Emmett Till was lynched in Mississippi, the House has approved legislation designating lynching as a hate crime under federal law.
Wow.
A little late.
Jesus Christ. I thought that happened a long time ago.
Better late than never. The bill introduced by Illinois...
Wait a minute. What's a hate crime then?
I don't know.
If lynching?
We lynched
Wait a minute.
him.
How do we have hate crime legislation, but we just forgot to put lynching on there?
You know?
I don't know.
What a slight oversight.
What's a fucking hate crime?
They lynched him. Okay, it's a hate crime, right?
That doesn't really rise to the level, but did they call him an N-word?
The bill, introduced by Illinois Rep. Bobby Rush and named after Till, comes 120 years after Congress first considered anti-lynching legislation and after dozens of similar efforts were defeated. The measure was approved 410-4 on Wednesday.
Who are those for?
Let's find out. The Senate unanimously passed virtually identical legislation last year, although that bill wasn't named for Till. President Donald Trump is expected to sign the bill, which designates lynching as a federal hate crime punishable by life in prison, a fine, or both.
Okay, well.
Rush, a Democrat whose Chicago district includes Till's former home, said the bill will belatedly achieve justice for Till. No.
No, it won't.
No, it's not going to do that. Till, who was black and blah, 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 blah.
I mean,
I want to know who voted against this. Is what I'm interested in.
I'm glad they finally made lynching a hate crime, but it seems long overdue. I mean, what? I just don't fucking understand it.
The bill was unanimously supported by Democrats, 3 Republicans, Louis Gohmert of Texas.
Of course.
Of course, the Gome. Of course it's going to be him.
What is his reason?
Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Ted Yoho of Florida opposed the bill, along with independent rep Justin Amash of Michigan. Gohmert said he supports the bill's concept, but preferred that those accused of lynching in Texas be tried in state court where they could face the death penalty. Massey said he opposed
enough then.
Massey said he opposed the expansion of federal hate crime laws. A crime is a crime, and all victims deserve equal justice, he said in a statement. Adding enhanced penalties for hate tends to endanger other liberties such as freedom of speech. Democratic Rep. Karen Bass of California, who chairs the Congressional Black Caucus, called lynching a lasting legacy of slavery.
Did I miss the lynching clause in the First Amendment?
Yeah.
Like, where in the First Amendment is lynching an infringement of freedom of speech?
You know, the right to the right of the people to peaceably assemble to lynch
to lynch somebody
will not be impaired, dude. So, you know, That's how it is.
That boy whistled at a white woman. We gotta lynch him.
How the fuck has this not already been on the books?
The argument he's literally making there is, if you decide to hang somebody, that should just be the same. If you throw a couple N-words in there, that shouldn't be no extra penalty because that's just words. I mean, yeah, but you're saying them as you're murdering somebody, so
right.
I mean, you have to look at the historical context of lynching in the United States, and I don't remember any white people being lynched. I mean, I'm not saying it never happened.
Anyway.
Hey, maybe it will. Who knows?
ABC News suspends David Wright over comments in Project Veritas video. ABC News said that it has suspended correspondent David Wright after right-wing provocateur James O'Keefe's group, Project Veritas, caught him on video complaining about how politics is covered. Any action that damages our reputation for fairness and impartiality or gives the appearance of compromising it harms ABC News and the individuals involved, the network said in a statement. David Wright has been suspended, and to avoid any possible appearance of bias, he will be reassigned away from political coverage when he returns. In the heavily edited video posted on Wednesday, Wright can be heard being asked whether he considers himself a democratic socialist. Wright replies that, "More than that, I consider myself a socialist." It is not entirely clear what the context was for the conversation, but Project Veritas said the undercover video was recorded during coverage of the New Hampshire primary. A source familiar with the situation said Wright had no idea he was being recorded. Wright also can be heard saying, we don't hold him to account and we don't give him enough credit for the things he does do. Project Veritas said that was a reference to President Donald Trump. Wright is also heard saying that we're in this awkward moment where, and created by this awkward moment, we have this fucking president. Project Veritas has for years targeted mainstream journalists in sting operations, hoping to capture what they consider evidence of bias in the news business. Their tactics have been a source of ethical complaints, civil lawsuits, and other charges. In 2010, O'Keefe and others pled guilty to misdemeanor counts of entering a New Orleans federal building under false pretenses. At the time, they had been targeting then Senator Mary Landrieu, a Democrat. So this guy, basically, ABC News is like, you got caught on camera saying you're a socialist, so we got to get rid of you because we don't want the appearance of bias.
Right.
Because, of course, there's this delusional idea in mainstream media that that the news anchors are supposed to be like, they're not supposed to tip their hand, even though they do all the time, and it's clear, like, Chris Matthews can get on fucking MSNBC and opine about how if Bernie was in charge, he'd be executed in fucking Central Park or some shit.
Right.
And obviously they can all fucking gang up on Trump for his latest breach of fucking decorum or whatever the fuck. But it's all supposed to be with this flimsy pretense of
objectivity,
journalistic integrity.
Yeah, we're journalists.
We're just giving you the unbiased, unfiltered eye on the world.
But I mean, like, I honestly much prefer it when a journalist just comes out and says, look, this is my fucking bias. Because I don't believe the idea that there's people out there who don't have a fucking bias.
Yeah, the so-called Hunter S. Thompson gonzo kind of journalism, where it's just like, I'm just telling you what I think. I'm not fucking sugarcoating and going, well, I'm just this fair and balanced source of news.
People, I mean, because there is no such thing. There's no such thing. Because if you don't fucking let people know your bias up front, then your bias creeps in more insidious ways. So I think that, I'd rather have fucking Anderson Cooper come out and be like, I support Buttigieg because he's a fucking gay dude like me.
Well, doesn't basically defeat the whole spirit of Project Veritas to begin with? If it's just like, here's my position, this is how I feel, and this is how I'm going to report the news, or this is how I'm going to discuss the news. Then Project Veritas really has nothing to talk about. Because if everyone's biased and basically, obviously, the notions they have about these stories and their feelings are out there, then, I guess the kind of point I'm making is you can't take someone like Hunter S. Thompson or anyone that's out there making that kind of news stories or making that name for themselves, or this show.
We already know.
Everyone knows our bias is what I'm saying. So no one's going to come back. I need to secretly record TJ and get his real position.
We know that fucking we pretty much know what political positions like Anderson Cooper has.
Yeah, sure. It's like a moderate Democrat,
right? Or like what. Don Lemon or fucking Rachel Maddow. Of course, we all know these people have these biases. So why not just put it out there in the open?
We know
say,
we know what
here's
networks
the fucking
on.
bias.
What network you're on is kind of like this is pretty much where you're going to line up. I mean, maybe not 100% of the time, but mostly that's how you're going to line up. Fox News is going to have conservative commentators and people opining that bullshit. MSNBC is the liberal, but increasingly though, I don't really feel like there is a liberal network. I mean, MSNBC has been shown to just be a fucking other wing of the Democratic establishment.
I mean, they're liberal, but they're not leftist.
Definitely not.
I mean, that's what
At least Fox News is more true to what it's fucking supposed to be.
It's like we're the Republicans, we're the Democrats, whatever the fuck.
Here's our propaganda. Here's our propaganda.
A lot of the stuff this guy said, by the way, I totally fucking agree with. He was caught on camera talking about, he did a lot more than just say, I'm a fucking socialist. I mean, he was talking about how the way that they cover news is bullshit, that
that's right.
There's fucking, the way that the ABC squashes stories that don't fit a narrative is bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why he was being so candid. I think this dude should just fucking say, I quit at ABC and go fucking do his own thing now that his name's out there.
I mean, suspended basically for telling the truth. I mean, obviously, he didn't really tell the truth directly. It was obviously through this Project Veritas video. And they said it's heavily edited. And,
yeah, I mean, we don't know the full context.
We have
that's every
context.
Project Veritas video. You never get to see the full context.
Well, of course
they want to show you the juicy bits.
They know what's going to sell.
Scientists discover the first animal that doesn't need oxygen to live. It's changing the definition of what an animal can be.
Holy shit.
They're coming, dude.
Holy shit.
You think that all animals would need oxygen to live, right? Wrong! Researchers discovered a unique organism that doesn't need to breathe. Instead, the tiny parasite lives in salmon tissue and evolves so that it doesn't need oxygen to produce energy. It's a brilliant simplification that proves sometimes less is more, said Stephen Atkinson, Senior Research Associate at Oregon State University's Department of Microbiology. Atkinson co-authored a paper on the groundbreaking less than 10-celled Heniguia salmonicola that appeared in, I'm sorry for that pronunciation, that appeared in the Journal of Penis, suck my penis, this week. When we think of animals, we picture multicellular creatures that need oxygen to survive, unlike many single-cell organisms that include protists and bacteria. He told CNN, in our work, we have shown that there is at least one multicellular animal that does not have the genetic toolkit to use oxygen. So what do you think of this, Paul?
I mean, it's fitting that it's a fucking parasite, too.
Yeah.
We didn't see it coming. Everybody ignored the salmon worm.
The salmon worm.
Till it was too late. Worms coming out of our eyes and shit.
It's like Slither, dude.
Oh, yeah. I like that movie. Epstein didn't kill himself. Mardi Gras float causes a stir.
I'm sure it's what it was meant to do.
You guys see this
Among
float? Who? I don't know. Somebody.
A positive stir.
Here's the float. It's literally Hillary strangling Epstein.
I wish I could have seen this fucking float in person, dude. Fuck doing it with the crowds, though.
Yeah, the crowd looks horrified.
Yeah, look at them. Throw me some fucking beads.
Dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
As an aside, dude, they have these tandem floats down here, which is basically a float that's sectioned in two parts.
Yeah.
And
multiple fatalities.
Multiple fatalities. People run over it trying to cross in the middle of these floats.
Really
a bunch of dumbasses.
I know. They like lionize these people like, oh, he was a great guy. I was just like, apparently he was a fucking drunken idiot that thought he could cross between two floats. Like if he was from this area, if he's from the fucking New Orleans area, you don't try to run in between the fucking floats like that. You wait for the float to pass, then you go.
I mean, shouldn't anything that's huge like that be assigned to not, like, you're not sneaking in between the trailers on a fucking semi.
I know. Well, Darwin Award winners, dude.
Just like, what are you doing?
Majority of Democrats say billionaire candidates like Mike Bloomberg and Tom Steyer are hurting 2020 primary race. No shit.
No, yeah.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
More than half of Democrats say they believe billionaire candidates running for the chance to unseat President Donald Trump in the upcoming 2020 election are having a negative impact on the primary race, according to a new poll. According to the Newsy Ipsos poll, 54% of Democrat respondents said they feel that billionaire candidates, former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg and philanthropist Tom Steyer, are hurting the primary race by funneling their riches into their campaigns.
Well, I believe in the 2016 election cycle, Hillary spent about, as far as I know, about $700 million. I think Bloomberg and Steyer have already spent about $700 million just on the primaries.
30% of respondents in the survey, which polled 2,010 people, including 868 Democrats, 829 Republicans, and 185 independents between February 21st and 25th, did not feel the same way, however, asserting that the billionaire spending did not hurt the primaries. So far, Bloomberg has already managed to spend a record-breaking $500 million of his personal wealth on advertising. Steyer, meanwhile, has put more than $250 million into his campaign. Fellow Democratic hopefuls with far less personal wealth to invest in their campaigns have hit out at the two billionaire contenders over their spending. You've probably seen more ads for Michael Bloomberg than the rest of us running for president put together, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren said in one ad. Both Bloomberg and Steyer have defended their spending, with the former telling Reuters in January that getting rid of Trump would be well worth the money spent in his effort to unseat the president. Number one priority is to get rid of Donald Trump. Man, they can.
Where's the equation? We spend a bunch of money, we beat Trump. You have to prove that.
The things that they'll do the things that will be justified under the idea that we need to just beat Trump. There's nothing more important than beating Trump.
It's definitely the stupidest angle.
Bloomberg is another fucking Trump anyways. Like, if it was like tomorrow, it could be like, hey, look, we can wave a wand, you get Bloomberg or Trump. It's like, neither. I don't want either fucking one of those motherfuckers in office.
They're fucking Coke and Pepsi. They're essentially the same fucking drink. One's blue, one's red. That's the fucking main difference.
I mean, as I understand it, the entire point of the Democratic primary system is already to defeat Trump. So shouldn't that be self-evident in your policies and shit? Like, how is the forefront of your campaign the basic need for having a Democratic? Yeah, of course. What, are you running to lose against Trump? Like, what's the implication here? Tell me something about what you're going to do.
Well, and having these billionaires is antithetical to the values of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party anyways, which want to get a bunch of money out of politics and simply inserting a bunch of money into politics, doing the exact opposite of what a large swath of fucking people in this political side are fucking totally against. I mean, they don't want a bunch of fucking billionaires buying their way on the stage, which they allowed Michael Bloomberg to do. His monies did not come from much of a number of small donors. He has almost no small fucking donors, as I understand it. He fucking put $500 million into advertising.
Bloomberg hasn't even tried. I mean, he's not even really trying to raise money.
He doesn't need it.
He doesn't need to.
But that just shows you what a farce this process is. I mean, up until 1968, the DNC fucking picked anyways. They just fucking picked the fucking nominee. And now it's like, okay, we're supposed to have a fucking process in order where it's like people fight and compete to get to be the party's nominee. It's like, look, buying your way onto the stage doesn't make any fucking sense. If we want to have a competitive process, simply, like, that's why the standard of having a number of donors made sense. It was actually like, okay, that's actually a good idea. You have to have actual real support.
Just pay to get that changed.
Yeah, just pay to change it. So fuck this whole process. The DNC, yet again, proves why no one fucking likes it and why they're fucking full of shit and why there's this big movement against them. And it's every time they go like, why do these people just fall into line? That's the fucking message I hear from them. Just fall into fucking line and agree with us. No, you guys have been doing shady, underhanded shit for fucking goddamn the inception of your fucking existence. So fuck you. Why don't you fall into line with what people actually fucking want, you goddamn parasites?
How about this guy?
Who this? Oh, he looks like a real reasonable
Some
dude.
Some fucking retarded conservative, I'm sure.
Oh, you're gonna like him. Don't judge a book by its cover.
I've seen a million of these stupid fucks, dude.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
So now Right Wing Watch has its disclosures.
Pete Butt Fudge.
What? Yeah, Pete Butt Fudge. Butt Fudge. That's how they're fucking. That's a little slab.
All right, 1 point to the stupid fucking right wing idiot.
Pete Fudge Packer.
This was a stage thing if it wasn't ever anything. At the latest debate,
of course it was staged.
A 9-year-old boy comes up to Butt Plug and said, Butt Fudge.
Butt Plug.
Pete Butt Plug now.
I'm waiting for the Fudge Packer one.
Let's says, I'm 9, and I think I like boys. And how do you come out? How do you come out? And
I think you have at that point. When you stand on a stage and be like, I think I'm gay, I think you have come out at that point. So,
how much advice do you really need if you're on a national fucking broad syndicated show? I mean, or a fucking debate, or what is this event?
This is a campaign.
Oh, campaign event. Well, yeah. I mean, at least in front of that audience, he's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you got the balls to stand up there in front of, like, all those people and be like, I'm gay, how do I come out? It doesn't really make sense as a question.
I'm assuming that's his mom standing next to him, so it seems like they're kind of supportive of him anyways.
Yeah, it seems like you out already.
So the media says, oh, my goodness, what a brave young man. And you know what? 50 years ago, they'd have thrown butt fudge in jail. Or even bring her.
They'd have thrown butt fudge in jail, boy. Oh, God.
I'd probably throw your old ass in fucking jail for being an idiot. I don't mean like a long prison sentence. Just give you like a fucking day in jail to be like, you're a retard. Who cares?
Talking about it in front of a young kid. Right? You with me? Oh, yeah, butt fudge. Oh, he's so... Everybody clap for this guy, little boy. Oh, we're so messed up. We're so messed up.
Well, we agree there. We fucking agree there, sir.
Oh, we're so fucked up.
Right there, Coach. That's the perfect example right there, Coach. You or me or an individual should have said to the sheriff, get that person out of here. They are violating the moral code of our lives.
The moral code of our lives.
Dude, can I pull that shit?
Sheriff. They're violating the moral code of our lives. What law is that again? What law on the books?
The moral code of our lives law.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, but so my subjective moral code now can be written and fucking tantamount to the law, superseding everything else. That's great, dude. I think it's morally acceptable for these guys to be roasted alive in an oven. You know,
look at the look on this smug fuck's face, too. He's so proud of himself for being this dumb.
That's right. Yeah. I just took a big old shit on the carpet. Look at it. It's a Mount Everest turd.
I think that's him.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hey, his shirt says "Pass the salt," dude.
Oh shit, he's a salt brother.
See, we got to begin to think differently. But Jack, we have such a very short time to be able to do it. Did you guys seen this? Pete Butt Fudge gives advice to a 9-year-old boy. How do I come out and tell everybody I'm gay? You're so brave, Mayor Pete. You did it. How do I do that? And Mayor Pete says, oh, you've already done it. You're so brave.
This guy wants to puff a Peter. I can tell.
Oh, my God, dude. This guy fucking polishes knobs.
Oh, my God.
Fucking professional, dude. Fucking two coats.
I guarantee you this guy goes out of town and gets male escorts to come and fucking oil his ass up for him.
No one hates gay people this much without being fucking gay,
dude.
Dude.
Self-loathing shit.
It doesn't creep you out this much unless you're desperately trying to cling to a facade of not being gay.
It really just is the case.
And it's shown itself over and over again, too. It's not just hyperbole.
Even there's even been scientific studies done on this. Yeah. Where they hook these homophobes up.
Oh, yeah, show them some gay porn.
I hate them.
Look at the blood flow to their dicks.
Yeah. And it's always, they find the increased blood flow. There's no, for the fucking heterosexual dudes that are just like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
There's no increased blood flow when they see the gay porn. But for these guys.
Oh, my God. Look at that rock hard cock.
This is disgusting. Oh.
Oh, sir, please do not masturbate during the test or during the study.
I ain't. I'm just trying to strangle my dick to show it what's what.
For some reason, my penis is hard, unrelated to the content I'm viewing.
I just started imagining heterosexual scenarios to counteract the gay shit.
A bunch of naked, scantily clad women.
I love women so much.
What a shame. Whatever happened? Why didn't his mommy put him in a headlock and drag him off the court?
Yeah, that's gonna change his sexuality.
There was no court.
Drag him off.
So first of all, there was no court for him to be dragged off of.
Well, let's even say drag him off the stage. What's that gonna do to him? Like, you're gonna be gay on my watch, headlock. The headlock of heterosexuality. Oh, I'm straight.
I love pussy now.
Thanks, Mom.
For a minute when I was 9, I thought I was gay, but then my mom put me in a vicious headlock, and then I realized my love of vajayjay.
What's this guy's argument? I know he's triggered and offended by it, but like, what is the real argument? Like, what is
his argument? Is he's mad?
Yeah, like what are the parents supposed to do? They're supposed to tell their son to just not be gay. Like, I didn't
Where's
know that
his daddy?
Oh, dude, it's not the George Carlin thing about people that call their dads daddy.
Here it is again, too. He was probably molested. So, yeah.
Either mom or dad or some relative, brother, because what is a 9-year-old doing engaging in any kind of sexual activity?
Whoa.
He didn't say he's engaging in sexual activity.
No one said he's engaging in sexual fucking activity,
Citation
you retard.
He just said he's attracted to
There's
fucking...
a difference. Like when I was 9, I started to be attracted to fucking girls in my class and shit.
Of course.
Right, like that happens. You have crushes and shit at that age. That doesn't mean you're engaging in sexual activity.
You desperately want to, but that just doesn't become an option usually.
Right, like you start to have attractions at 9 years old, probably, I mean, younger sometimes. But that doesn't mean you're engaging in fucking sexual activity. No one ever said this kid is engaging in fucking sexual activity. He's not fucking at the goddamn bus station blowing dudes for a quarter, all right?
Except everybody's grandpa, because everyone's grandpa, by the time you get that old, you're all like, I got laid when I was like an infant. You know, it's like the fucking crazy stories. Like, dude, our dad used to do that all the time. Remember, it's like his virginity story would change, and it, like the age, like I was like 10 years old. That's like, whatever, Dad. That's not how I've heard about people getting laid. It's just the bullshit stories from old men of like, I did it before you did, son. I'm better than you kind of bullshit.
I'm better than you, boy, in every way.
But beyond that kind of fucking just puffery, like, it doesn't make any sense, dude. I just don't get how you can live your life just so upset about something else that someone else is doing. Like, it doesn't affect this fucking ball cap wearing motherfucker with his stupid fucking green screen, his stupid fucking internet show. Like, how does it affect you that some kid got on a stage and talked to some fucking goddamn shill like Pete Buttigieg who happens to be fucking gay? How did it affect your fucking life?
Because it's illegal under any state law. Homosexuality, sick as it is, where does this thought come from this child? Chances are he was molested.
No.
Where's the proof of that?
Chances are based on what? Based on what?
Their fucking concept of reality. There's nothing else.
There's zero evidence that anyone ever molested that kid. Zero evidence. They don't care. Because you're wearing a hat for a fucking dumb fuck religion that there's zero evidence of, and you believe that so fervently that you're willing to fucking treat other people like shit.
Well, they're putting on all this anti-sexual morality shit, but the truth of the matter is that if he was standing there in front of a straight candidate and was like, how do I get a girlfriend, Joe Biden? They'd be like, yeah, boy, you go get some of that pussy. Woo!
You just sneak behind them and sniff, boy.
They'd be fine with it. It's just like the bias is so naked.
But ask our president, dude. Just gotta grab him.
Grab him by the pussy.
Contributing to the delinquency of a minor, a presidential candidate contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
No.
There's nothing delinquent about being gay.
What crime was committed again?
Contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Did he give him a whiskey shot? What the fuck? No, he didn't do that.
Did he take him out of Joyride and he take him to a freaking gay sex club? Did he go to a sex dungeon with this 9-year-old? What happened here?
They denied him his constant environment of anti-homosexual bullying that kids like him is supposed to get. Straighten him right up.
Amazing.
Really, what a fucking nightmare, dude.
Really insightful commentary. Dunkin's latest release is quite simply a bag of bacon.
Hey.
You know what?
Hey.
How the fuck can you argue with a bag of bacon?
Let's see if we... Yeah, let's see it.
Is it crispy?
Yeah, let's see it.
Look at it.
There it is.
It looks goddamn crispy to me.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, fuck you. While other fast food chains are rushing to launch meatless and plant-based options, Dunkin' went in the opposite direction and released the ultimate snack for meat lovers. Starting Wednesday, Snackin' Bacon was available at Dunkin' restaurants nationwide.
Yes!
What's that, you wonder? It's just what it sounds like. 8 half strips of bacon wrapped up in a sleeve. Here at Dunkin', we've been working hard to formulate the perfect afternoon pick-me-up, and really, what's better than a bag of bacon? The company said in a blog post.
Fucking A, no shit.
The best ideas are sometimes the simplest ideas, and this is just proof of that.
I got to agree with this carefully engineered marketing campaign.
Yeah,
here.
this is not even an article so much as it's just an advertisement. But whatever.
I'll tell you what, though.
I'm okay with that.
Bacon is fucking getting expensive as shit, though.
Duncan wants you to know that it's not just any ordinary bacon. It's high-end bacon that's been smoked with natural cherry wood. It's then treated to a sweet and savory blend of brown sugar and black pepper seasoning.
Fuck. Duncan, shut the fuck up and just give me the bacon. Dude, don't try to fucking sell me that the Dunkin' Donuts bacon is
you
like
had me at
primo. Is like this primo bacon. No, I expect a goddamn fucking run-of-the-mill goddamn fast food bacon shoved fucking hastily into a goddamn container and handed to me.
Give me that bacon.
So when I make this horrible decision, I fucking, I feel less bad about myself. It's
What's
like,
horrible about the decision? Nothing.
Well, it's bad for my health.
Joe Biden claims to have worked on 2016 Paris climate deal with Chinese leader who died in 1997.
Dude, this just this proves that Joe Biden is truly a time traveler.
Grandpa Biden, it's time. It's time to retire.
Oh man, did you see that?
I'm Joe Biden. I'm running for Senate.
I should have pulled it, but there was another video of him where he's talking about how he's running for the Senate.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Dude, go fucking pull that one, dude.
I'm a candidate for Senate. I want your vote. And then he says, if you don't want to vote for me, go vote for the other Biden. That's how he ends it.
Is there another Biden? Where is he at?
I don't know.
Maybe there's another Biden we don't know about yet.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
There's like
here.
the secret Biden candidate waiting in the wings.
Yeah, the secret Biden. Okay, I'll find it.
Go vote for secret Biden.
Senate, other Biden.
And we apologize to anyone watching for the image of Amy Klobuchar staying on your screen.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I know a lot of you guys want to, have sex with her.
Presidential candidate
but still.
Joe Biden appeared to make another misstep during a campaign event in South Carolina on Monday, claiming to have worked on the Paris Climate Accord with former Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping, who died 19 years before the agreement was signed. Whatever.
You know what I call that dude? Impressive. That's impressive, dude. That guy was dead, and Joe Biden went back in time, got him to agree to the fucking deal, came back to the president, and told us all about it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Have you ever done that?
I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other Biden. Give me a look, though.
Vote for the other Biden.
What the fuck?
Oh, no. It is thought that the vice president might be referring to Aloysius Biden, who served a brief term in the Senate before his death in 1891.
Aloysius Biden.
I want to meet Aloysius Biden.
I can't wait to cast my vote for Aloysius, dude.
If you want your molasses to be affordable and your mules to be healthy, give your vote to me. If not, give it to that other Aloysius Biden.
He's running for Senate against
he doesn't
other
even,
Biden, dude.
Hey, he doesn't even know what year he's living in anymore.
Maybe I'll support Biden's Senate run, but his presidential primary run, I'm afraid I'm have to go against.
But unfortunately, despite the fact that he thinks that he's working with leaders that died 20 years ago, and then he thinks he's running for Senate, and then he thinks there's another Biden running against him,
is fucking.
Despite all of that, he's still going to win South Carolina.
Dude,
probably.
Biden clearly suffers from dementia. He is clearly in the early stages of it. There's no...
And you can see here, he started to decline in South Carolina, and Sanders started to surge, but then at the last minute, it seems like it's reversing, and Biden's surging back up, Bernie's surging back down, and Biden is just going to... He's probably... And you know what? Congratulations to him, because he's run for president 3 times, and he's never, ever, 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 ever won a single fucking primary.
So this will be his first one.
So this could be Biden's first big fucking victory.
I think he's probably going to win South Carolina. Look, the writing's on the wall. He's got a number of prominent endorsements.
Biden's on the wall.
He's just put so much into the state, and he has such a large connection to the population of the state. Look, and he's going to get a lot of the black vote, and then South Carolina. So that's very important for the Democratic primary.
For the 3 days between this vote and Super Tuesday, they're going to really
Biden front runner.
Biden's front runner now. Biden. We all know
Sanders falters in South Carolina.
Sanders falters South Carolina. Sanders voters reject Sanders' bid for president.
Does Sanders have any appeal to the black community? Question mark.
What about the confusion with there being 2 Bidens on the ticket, too? Like, what if they accidentally vote for the wrong Biden?
Aloysius Biden, that might be a controversial finish then.
Maybe Aloysius Biden's going to win South Carolina.
Maybe so.
That could be a bad sign for Joe. So the result, the idea that we're going to come to a brokered convention becoming more and more likely.
No one.
Paul's rooting for
no one. That's right, bitch.
1 in 2, dude. A 1 in 2 chance for no one.
50%.
No one.
No one's running away with this shit, dude.
No one.
No one is dominant.
The candidate I've always wanted, man. Never said a fucking wrong thing. Never taken a stupid fucking position.
Never taken a single bribe.
Never had a bad take on a single fucking topic. Yeah, never taken a single red fucking penny of a bribe. Never made a backroom deal with a multinational corporation. No one is the way forward.
Well, Paul, you're going to get your wish.
Thank goodness.
Well, actually not, because they're going to steal it from no one and give it to one of these other people.
Shit.
Sorry. So, with that being the likely outcome here, let's talk about this. You'll see rebellion. Sanders supporters denounce open threats by superdelegates to steal nomination. The Democrats might be able to stop Sanders, but in doing so, they would destroy their party's own electoral prospects. Nearly 100 Democratic superdelegates told the New York Times in interviews this week that if Senator Bernie Sanders does not arrive at the party's 2020 convention in July with a majority of pledged delegates, they are willing to thwart the will of the plurality of primary voters and potentially risk damaging Democrats' chances of defeating President Donald Trump in order to stop Sanders from winning the nomination.
Oh, isn't all the people that said we need to get behind Hillary and we need to have party unity? Oh, they need to have unity. Oh, that's Bernie Sanders. Then the unity goes out the window and we'll select
Fuck unity! Burn it down.
Unity for some, not for all.
In a reflection of the establishment's wariness about Mr. Sanders, the Times reported Thursday morning only 9 of the 93 superdelegates interviewed said that Mr. Sanders should become the nominee purely on the basis of arriving at the convention with a plurality if he was short of a majority. The superdelegates, many of whom are current elected officials, are willing to risk intra-party damage to stop his nomination at the national convention in July if they get the chance, the Times reported. If he doesn't have a majority, it stands to reason that he may not become the nominee. Jay Jacobs, the New York State Democratic Party chairman, said of Sanders, who has won the popular vote in the first 3 states of the Democratic primary race. Osita Nwanuve, I don't know, political columnist for the New Republic, suggests the Times headline could be written another way. Democratic leaders willing to risk party damage to stop Sanders. He said he suggested Democratic leaders willing to lose the election to stop Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, that's actually the correct title for this article. If you want to be honest, it's if they don't back Bernie. If Bernie wins most of the states and they go, nope, it's going to be Bloomberg or it's going to be Biden or somebody else, the Democratic Party, as we know it, is fucking finished. Donald Trump is going to be reelected. Anyone else they put up on stage, Biden, is going to be fucking crushed by Trump. Bloomberg crushed by Trump.
Here's the real question.
Crushed.
Do they even care, though?
No, I don't think
they because like does the DNC really even give a shit about having the presidency?
They fund both parties. No, they don't give a fuck. Trump's going to be a friend to companies and corporations, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's a D or an R. As long as it's not Bernie, they don't give a fuck.
So I mean, like they're real opposite. They're more opposed to Bernie Sanders than they are to Donald Trump.
They're opposed to the ideas. Yes, they're opposed to that ideology. They're opposed to these fucking social programs being implemented. They don't want them to happen. So, of course, as long as it's not Bernie Sanders, if it's any other Democrat, they're fine with it. Any other Democrat, no problem. If any other Democrat was riding high, if Buttigieg is number 1 right now, they'd be fine. First gay candidate, no problem. As long as you're moderate. If Bernie was more moderate, was willing to play ball at the DNC and not criticize them, they'd be fine with him too. But he's not willing to fucking play ball, so they're going to go to the fucking convention. They're going to say, oh, let's do the first round of voting. Oh, if Bernie doesn't take it then, he's not getting it. They're going to go, nope, we got to, look, we got to save the party. The moderates, and if you look at the number of moderate votes that was gotten, it's really the moderates that really is what people want. So that's why we're making this decision to give it to a moderate candidate. So what moderate got the most votes? This guy? Or was it Buttigieg or Biden or Bloomberg? That's who needs to be the fucking nominee. And look, they did it for years. That's what the DNC did before this whole process. They put up a goddamn fucking, it happened in the Vietnam era. It was like, I forget the guy's name. They put up a fucking basically pro-war candidate when the fucking goddamn populace wanted an anti-war candidate. It was like the 60s. And the people were fucking pissed. They're like, oh, we're going to have a primary system now. That's how we're going to solve it. So people are actually going to have a say in who the fucking nominee for the party is.
Well, they built a back door into that process.
Of course. Well,
but we get a bunch of super delegates. Well, so if it doesn't go our way, then we can...
Well, didn't that come with Michael Dukakis? Isn't that when the superdelegates came into play?
I have no idea. I don't know the history of where the superdelegates arose. It might be a good thing to do a show on at some point. But yeah, this is increasingly looking like it's the that events are taking, unless Bernie is able to clean up on Super Tuesday and just clinch the fucking nomination.
The only way Bernie is getting 100% is if he fucking he wins what he needs to win. And that's about 10% right now, according to 538, which doesn't mean that's necessarily true, but that's what it's looking right
538 now. Puts the chances of Bernie getting the nomination, where did it go?
1 in 10.
3 in 10.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 in 10.
3 in 10. There's 31% chance Bernie, 50% chance no one. This is just the current projection. This, of course, changes all the time based on, different polls that come out in different fucking events. But it's looking like Biden is going to win South Carolina by a pretty comfortable margin. It's going to be Biden's first big electoral victory. That could give him a little bit more momentum going into Super Tuesday. Some of these states that are kind of on that edge might go towards him. That just splits the vote even more. It makes the chances of this brokered convention seem more likely, and it's looking like, based on where the superdelegates' heads are at, that if it goes to a brokered convention, they're going to do everything in their power, which is they have all the power in that situation, to stop Bernie Sanders from getting the nomination. So at that point, I can't even say what I think the political solution for that is.
Well, you know what the best thing about it too is then if that does happen, then all the calls for unity will then come back. Oh, we know we fucked your candidate over and this whole movement over, but you know what? Unite behind.
There's
the
not going to
party.
be no unity. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I don't know. I mean,
there's not going to be no fucking unity.
This happened on a smaller scale in the last electoral fucking season.
I can just tell you right here now, there's not going to be no unity. This is going to be fucking uglier than I think these establishment types
if it happens, then honestly what should happen should be that the Democratic Party should just be broken up. Or the progressive wing of the party should be broken up to a new fucking party and get rid of the fucking DNC and cut them out of the fucking process. Because you know what? Even if that means 4 more years of Donald Trump or whatever it means, a fraction of the party, it's clear that if you keep playing by their rules, you're never going to get shit.
I don't know. I've got kind of a different take on it. I feel like I think nothing will happen. Like, I think there might be some outrage and some bitching online and some fucking millennial-style protest and shit like that. But I don't think there's going to be, history just bears that out. There's not going to be some fucking uprising. There's not going to be blood in the streets over this fucking shit. It's just going to be a lot of bitching and whining and then eventual acceptance of the status quo.
Well, I can tell you, I will be at the convention, one way or the other. Whether it's to watch Bernie fucking get coronated in there, or whether it's to do some other activities, I'm going. I will be there. Fucking mark it on your fucking calendar.
So Cheetah gets arrested at a convention. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be there to film Cheetah's getting arrested.
I'll be at home watching Netflix.
I will be there.
Paul will be doing Netflix and chill.
Come with me. Come with me, everybody. This is my clarion call to all those out there. We're there.
It's the Viva la Revolution.
I didn't say nothing about no revolution. Let's have a private conversation about it.
The resistance lives on.
Not here. Not now. Let's talk about it face to face, everybody. See you there.
I mean,
go ahead.
All right.
Say your piece.
Say you
I guess I got my piece to say too. Those of you that know that no one is the true candidate for this, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't pay attention to any bullshit. Stay at home and tune out. Because you know what the most exciting part about no one's campaign is?
What's that? Okay, cool.
There you go.
Fair
All right,
enough.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Flash Friday. We'll see you guys next time. Sorry it was a little late.